Okay, so let's do a 1 week review of the current grow operation going around in the basement here. We've gotten some considerable growth on quite a few of our herbs. All different kinds of herbs. We're actually growing a few cucumbers just as an experiment. Dill. And you can see it's really starting to get quite foresty underneath these grow lights. And you may notice that there's only 4 trays up on the first seedling rack instead of 5. We've actually gone and transplanted quite a few. I can just pull out the custom tray here. We've transplanted quite a bit. So we've done transplants for some dill. This is Ducat dill, herb dill. We have a couple different kinds of dill here. We have a more leafy type of dill along with the Ducat herb dill. And we also transplanted the pepper plants out of that tray. And you can see, so we have quite a few peppers growing and quite a few dill plants. I'm running some experiments where I planted 2 plants in a 4-inch pot, or just 1 plant in a 4-inch pot, just to see if there's differences in growth, or how quickly it comes to actually produce fruit or vegetables. We'll see. It's just a neat experiment. This is just a 4-inch pot. They're approximately, I don't know, 3 inches tall, 4 inches wide. So I'm doing that kind of test with peppers. I'm also doing that test with some different dill plants. So I have the more leafy dill here. I have one of them by itself. I also have one of the herb dills kind of by itself, and then I have a few different combinations where I'll have 2 herb dills, or a leafy dill and a herb dill beside each other, or 2 leafy dills in the same pot. We're just doing some experimenting, some learning on how the actual growth will go with these different herbs. On the other side, on the basil side of things, basil plants are growing excellent. I was a little concerned that the basil leaves were starting to wrap around like this, but this is actually the kind of basil that this is expected. So this is actually how it's supposed to grow. And you can actually see that I do have side shoots coming on these basils, so that's very exciting. Soon I'm going to be able to propagate these things and turn 5 basil plants into 10, into 20, etc., etc. So we'll see how soon we can do that. But you can even see on this one here, we have some good side shoots growing out there. So soon I'm going to snip these plants, harvest a few basil leaves, and propagate. I got this other dill here. It's also doing some good growth. So these grow lights seem to be doing their job. View of the herb planters from the opposite side here. We have quite a bit of dill growing. We got our garlic chives. Very exciting. We have some thyme. This is thyme. Basil. We do have a couple rosemary plants popping up on this side. Not very many, but they're starting to pop up. Again, we have some thyme starting to come up. It comes up in little bunches. And also the seeds for thyme are so small that it's very difficult to plant just 1 or 2. So I may have dropped 4 or 5 seeds in some of these holes, but that's okay. We'll thin it out once it comes time. We have more basil coming in. And then I believe this is actually parsley. No, this is cilantro. We have cilantro here. Then over on this end we have some parsley, which is starting to pop up. cilantro, cucumbers, and then dill. Which is very nice. Then we have more cilantro and garlic chives, and then in the back there you can see the dill is starting to grow very quickly. Dill seems to grow very quickly, which is good. Now a total review of the entire tray system here and the whole rack. This has been working great. I really like that I only have to adjust 2 of these carabiners to adjust the height of the lamps. So if I want to, I can lift it up or drop it down as needed. You may actually notice on the bottom rack I have it slanted so that the basil way in the back has a little bit more distance between the basil and the actual LEDs, just to promote a little more vertical growth. In the front here, where we have much shorter plants, the peppers, the dill, I am putting those up towards the front so that the light is a little bit closer so we can harness more of that light energy. So we can do things like this as things grow. Where I have all the dill in the corner, way in the back, I may begin to slowly raise that corner so that the dill has a little more room to grow. So we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, the grow setup's been working very nicely. I'm very pleased with the quality of the lights. They seem to be growing the plants quite well. It doesn't seem like any of the plants are getting extremely leggy. They seem to have good sized stalks, good sized leaves. I will begin to thin some of these out in the coming weeks so that we can allow more of the energy to go to just a single plant instead of growing 5 or 6 plants at the same time. That'll lead to some issues, so we will be thinning some of these out eventually. All right, thanks for watching. Keep growing.